Hey everyone, I'm Ashes,
And I'm Will.
and this is Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Each week, one of us will tell the other the history, facts, and stories behind the rides and attractions of Disney that have made special memories for generations.
Keep in mind that Ashes and Will Do Disney is not affiliated with or employed by the Walt Disney Company, and our views and opinions do not reflect theirs.
Now it's time to sit back, relax, and put on your ears because it's time for Ashes and Will Do Disney. Oh, hey, Ashes.
Oh, hey Will, how's it going?
It's going all right. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty good. Excited to be doing this again.
Yes.
I know for our listeners it's just every week, but for us we just get to kind of record in chunks since our schedules are so hectic. So it's been a hot minute, so I'm excited to be doing this with you again.
Yeah, it's been a couple of weeks since we've done any new episodes for us. Like you said, our listeners hear it every week, but for us, it's just been about 2 weeks since we've been able to do anything.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Yeah, that'll be fun to get back into it here.
I've had a lot of just working and house tours in my life. I need some Disney magic in my life.
Yep,
So,
and we've been trying to keep that alive in the house throughout the week. We've been watching the Chippendale Park Life, the new Mickey Mouse shorts,
oh my
Monsters
gosh,
at Work.
the Chippendale Park Life. If you guys have not watched that, it's on Disney Plus, and it is amazing.
It's
Like,
so funny.
it is so hilarious. I typically, like, my kids know, like, I am not like the one who watches all the kid shows, the cartoons.
That's
Like,
me.
that all happens with daddy while mommy's at work. And I'm the one who then comes home and watches, like, the animal vet shows or Shark Week or stuff like that with typically just our oldest one.
Right?
But the Chip and Dale Park Life is one of those legit hilarious. I'm like, okay, cool, you can't watch that one
We
without
actually
me.
have to wait to watch it with you.
And The Wonderful Life of Mickey Mouse
Yep,
is
the
pretty
Mickey Mouse
funny too.
shorts. Yeah,
So,
they're pretty funny too. And I went on a quest to find a Xbox 360 this week
oh yeah, it was
because
quite the quest too.
it was. So basically, what happened with that is my original Xbox 360 died, and you gave me the ultimatum of if I couldn't get it fixed, it had to go, which would then mean I couldn't play my Disney games, particularly Epic Mickey 2.
Well, we tried to buy two different power cords for it to see if that was the problem, and neither one fit. So I was pretty well over it and just wanted that stuff out of the house if it wasn't being used.
And then I found one that fit, and it still didn't work.
Yep.
So I had to take to the marketplace to find the Xbox 360, and two people responded to me that they were available still and then sold them out from under me, but I finally found someone to give me one. I have to bop the top of it to get the tray to open, but such is life for a $30 find.
Right. It's if anyone watches the new Monsters at Work show on Disney Plus, you can clearly tell we have young kids because of what we watch. But one of the newest episodes on there has a vending machine that's a little testy per se and only works if you like bump it, knock it 3 times, and then like do something else. So now the Xbox is named Vendy,
That's
just
its
like
new
it
nickname.
is on Monsters at Work. So
But we got to play Epic Mickey 2 the other night.
which was fun. And ironically, I cannot believe that I actually remember like some of the game. I'm like, oh yeah, we got to go over here and do that. I remember doing this because it was what, 10 years, if not more ago since we've played. Has it been
Probably.
that long?
Probably.
Yeah, but it was fun. Nice little flashback.
It was fun. So I've got something for you this week.
Cool. What you got?
Well, last time I chatted with you and I came up with a fun activity beforehand, we did the Which Disney Couple Are You?
Yes, I liked it. At least we
Super
got
cute,
the same one.
right? We got the same one. We were Will and Elizabeth from Pirates. But you know me. I like my villains. I like the bad
You
guys.
do love your villains.
So I took the quiz to see which Disney villain I was.
Oh, okay.
Now it's your turn, and at the end I'll let you know who I was. And
Okay, after I do mine, I'll have to see if I can guess yours.
okay, yeah, we'll see if you can guess mine. So again, this is from the Oh My Disney website, so official Disney quiz.
Okay, I'm really actually excited to see what villain I am.
All right. My catchphrase is, "We had fantastical feasts when I lived in the palace. I'm surrounded by idiots. Magic mirror on the wall. Whoever has the gold makes the rules."
I'm surrounded by idiots. Sorry.
Hey, this is a villain quiz. Don't
I know.
apologize. My favorite accessory is a crown, a dashing hat, a magical staff, or a cape?
Oh, probably a magical staff. I don't quite like where this is going, but I don't like the villain that I'm turning into right now, but I
Oh,
think
there's
of
more
all those
questions.
things,
There's
I
more
do like the
questions.
staff. Okay.
I couldn't live without privacy, a kingdom to rule, my ship, my trusty sidekick.
You know what? I'm kind of a people person, so I think I'll have to go with sidekick.
Okay. People refer to me as dedicated, fiery, assertive, or confident.
Dedicated, fiery, assertive, or confident. Probably fiery.
Okay. I would love to live in Germany, France, Greece, or England.
England.
My dream job is to be a sailor, queen, magician, or designer.
Ooh. A sailor, a queen.
A magician or a designer.
Let's go with designer.
My favorite color is purple, red, blue, or black.
Black.
I can't stop singing along to Painting the Roses Red, Mine, 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 Be Prepared, or Hellfire.
Probably painting the roses red. I love me some Alice in
It's a
Wonderland.
catchy tune.
It is.
My favorite dessert is pumpkin pie, bayonets, cherries jubilee, or an apple tart.
I think I've only had not even half of those. Let's go with, what was the last one?
Apple tart.
Okay, let's do apple tart. We need to try more desserts, clearly.
All right, last question. What I look for in an evil sidekick is wit, sarcasm, strength, or speed.
Let's go with wit. I need someone who can keep up with me.
Okay. Ready for your results?
Yeah. Can I guess?
Yeah.
Am I going to be Jafar?
No,
Oh,
because
phew.
you were going that
I didn't
route
want
with the
to.
magic
I didn't
staff.
want to be Jafar.
You are Cruella de Vil.
Oh, nice.
Not a bad one.
Oh, I'll take it.
Fashion is your life, darling. Being stylish is your number one priority, and you'll do anything to ensure your place at the top of the food chain.
Oh, I do love Cruella de Vil, and the new movie Cruella is also amazing.
That was
If
a good
people
movie.
haven't watched it yet, highly worth it.
It's a very fun one. It's very dark, but very funny too.
Oh, it's great. I love all the villain movies. Maleficent's one of my favorite movies also.
Yes, very good movie.
I don't think Maleficent was one of the choices though on there. It didn't sound like it. I wonder if she was. Okay.
So now take a guess at who I was.
Do you know who, like, does it say who some of the options were?
No.
Okay, so.
No, it just gives you your result.
Ursula?
No. No.
Were you Jafar?
Nope.
Okay, what have you got?
I was Captain Hook.
Oh, darn it. That makes so much sense. I should have known that.
So it says you might be a bit obsessed with revenge. On the plus side, you're a great dresser and pull off a giant feathered hat like no other.
I feel like that is a very accurate description of you.
I did pick a dashing hat as my accessory.
Well, you do have quite the large collection of hats.
I do.
So it has previously been a point of contempt in our relationship at times just because I've needed to find ways to organize all of your hats
And
because
then
they
I just
drive
buy
me
more.
nuts. I know. It's like literally over 100 hats.
But I wear most of them.
Mm.
And that's why they last so long. I have so many, I don't just wear them out.
Oh, okay.
So what do you got for me this week?
Okay, so you know me. I have sort of a soft spot in my heart for like the underdog in just about any situation.
Mm-hmm.
I like seeing the little guy be the one to triumph. And again, I asked my work wife, Sonia, which ride I should cover next. And this is what she suggested because she too likes boring rides. So this is actually another one of the 14 original rides from when Disneyland opened that remain today.
Okay.
Do you know how many rides there were when Disneyland opened?
Well, you said one of the 14 original rides when Disneyland opened.
Well, sorry, one of the 14 original rides that are still there. So there's of the 33 that opened. Oh, well, I
Well,
just told you.
33, I got it.
You caught me. So of the 33 that originally opened in Disneyland, 14
There's
still
14
remain
left.
today.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So any guesses of which one of the 14 I picked?
So it's a boring ride and it's at Disneyland?
Yes. And it's not. It's a small world.
That's not a boring ride.
I love that ride.
Is it the Storybook Boats?
It is.
Ah!
Wow, I'm so
The
impressed.
only reason I happen to think of that is because I was setting up something for another episode, and we had a picture from our honeymoon. We took a picture of the entrance to the Storybook Boats.
Oh,
and I
wow.
just happened to see it last night while I was doing some work on an episode, and that's why it was in my head.
That's funny. Yeah, I'm impressed. I didn't think it's not a ride I would have thought of at all, even though I think we've done it just about every time we've gone, but it's not like one of those
I
ones
feel
that
like we haven't, though. I
typically.
feel like it's always been closed when we go.
No, I know for sure we went with the kids, or at least we did the Casey Jr. train ride that goes around it.
Yes, we did that.
Because I have the picture of us with our matching shirts.
Yes, we did do the Casey Jr. train, but I don't think we've been on the actual boats.
Yes, we have. I swear we have. Oh, maybe I went on that one with Sonia then too. I don't know. So, anyways, this ride is one of Walt Disney's legacy that lives on today. It's one he worked very hard on to perfect. The inspiration for this ride actually came from a trip Walt Disney took to the Netherlands. He visited an attraction there called the Madradam, which I have no idea if I said that right, but. So it's basically this super adorable small city that showcased miniature Dutch landmarks. And Walt knew he wanted to create his own little world and a boat ride that went through the park called Canal Boats of the World. Though at one point, before the ride opened, one source said that Walt wanted to call it Lilliputian Land. So, after his wife, but it's quite the mouthful.
That's a mouthful. I think the Storybook Boats is a little easier to say.
Yes, well, or Canal Boats of the World as it was originally envisioned.
Okay.
So what Walt envisioned was for guests to tour around miniature landmarks from around the world, but because of Disneyland spending more money than they had planned, when the Canal Boats of the World opened on July 17, 1955, the ride was left incomplete, with guests only riding through a swampy bank with nothing to look at. It earned the nickname among the park executives as the Mud Bank Ride.
Cute.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm very shocked they even opened it. Maybe it's because they only had 33 rides. I actually have no clue how many rides are open today at Disneyland.
Probably more than 33.
I mean, I would imagine. We should probably count. But either way. So at this point, you would think they just wouldn't open the ride if there was literally nothing to look at except a swamp. But they kept it open. And for some reason, people continued to ride it. I'm not sure.
And if they're riding it, why close it?
I
Keep
guess
it open
that's
if people
true.
are going.
So, not shockingly, more issues arose, though, for the attraction as the year progressed. The outboard motors on the boats were constantly overheating, and cast members were forced to pull the boats back by hand. Disney was left with no choice but to close for extensive renovations after just 2 months. So I'm surprised it lasted that long.
That's quite a bit of time to last as it is. So.
It's a swamp ride. A year later, on June 16th, 1956, this once muddy attraction became a gorgeous landmark for Disneyland. During the reconstruction of the ride, Walt Disney was very much involved in the planning and construction. He himself even planted one of the bonsai trees that are there. I don't know if it's still one of the ones there today, but he helped then. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool. The idea of having a whole new concept came to mind with miniature lands from our beloved classic Disney films replacing the great landmarks of the world, which I think is more fitting of Disneyland anyway.
Agreed.
Quiet battery-powered boats replaced the motorboats and then gave cast members the ability to connect with up to 12 guests and act as a tour guide describing each Disney scene, such as the Toad Manor from The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad, which is still one I haven't seen, and Alice's Cottage from Alice in Wonderland. Storybook Land Canals became a success for Fantasyland. Storybook Land Canal Boats begins by loading passengers from a dock as cast members welcome guests aboard. After riding through a short cave that many Disney fans know as Monstro, you know who Monstro is?
That's the whale from Pinocchio. That's the picture we have that I saw.
Yes. Okay, now I know which one you're talking about. Yes, so Monstro's the whale that swallowed Pinocchio. Disneyland guests are transported into a miniature world with a gorgeous landscape, shrubs, and tiny little trees. So the idea of having the Monstro consume the canal boats came from a never implemented concept for a Monstro the Whale ride, in which small boats were to be swallowed by him and then hurtled down a watery path into a pond. Sounds like it would have been a fun ride.
That sounds like it actually would have been like something you'd see at Waterworld.
Yeah, it's still cool that they incorporated it. According to Wikipedia, this little land is more technical, though, than you'd think. So the canal itself contains 465,000 gallons of water, which flows via underground pipes to the moat around Sleeping Beauty's castle, the Jungle Cruise, and the rivers of America, where it is pumped back into the Storybook Land. So I had no clue that all of those were essentially connected.
Connected rides, sure.
Yeah. The attraction's 13 boats are powered by electrical inboard motors. When they are not in use, they are stored in a boathouse hidden behind the waterfall containing Triton's castle. The houses in Storybook Land are fitted with 6-inch doors and 1/4-inch hinges that open and close, so the Disneyland electricians can change the light bulbs.
Oh.
I think it's really adorable that, like, legit the doors work.
Yeah, just little access points.
Yeah. Over time, Disney Imagineers have added even more details by including and adding Agrabah and the Sultan's Palace from Aladdin, Arendelle from Disney's Frozen, and even the Tinkerbell boat and the lighthouse was delicately painted golden maroon for the 50th anniversary of Disneyland in 2005.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this attraction is home to 12 villages, in which I've already said a couple of them. A few of them that I didn't say was the straw, stick, and brick houses from the Three Little Pigs.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. The manicured London Park from Peter Pan. The Alpine Village from Pinocchio. The English Village from Alice in Wonderland. Prince Eric's Palace and King Triton's underwater castle from The Little Mermaid. The Cottage of the Dwarves from Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The French Countryside Village and Mountaintop Castle from Cinderella. The Giant's Patchwork Quilt from Lullaby Land. And then the other one was from The Adventures of Ichabod and Mr. Toad.
But you have seen, you just may not remember you've seen it, because our
That
middle
sounds
kiddo
about
has
right.
watched it several times with us because it's spooky stuff, so she likes it.
Ooh, there's that good chance I probably just slept through it.
Good chance.
I sleep through just about everything.
Not because of her lack of interest.
No, I just managed to sit down, and if I stop moving, that's it. That's the end of
You're
me.
done.
You know how we have this whole pandemic thing going on, and the park's closed for a good while.
I heard about that.
Yeah, you did. It was mentioned in the news a few times. So the Storybook Land Canal Boat attraction actually remained closed for quite a while, even after Disneyland opened back up, because you just put 12 people in a boat with one Disney cast member. So it's not really ideal for social distancing.
Right.
It's one of the very few attractions that actually have a cast member, on there with them, talking about everything that they're doing. So, however, as of this recording, they did manage to get it open.
That's good.
So,
Steps in the right direction.
yeah, for sure. So, although some Disney visitors may typically just walk by this attraction, it does actually hold a great significance to the theme park. Not only does it hold a huge piece of history, but as many guests return to Disneyland Park, it will provide that guest experience in Fantasyland. And Walt Disney often regarded it as his favorite attraction.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know for sure if that's true. Clearly not everything on the internet is true, but it makes sense. I could definitely see it being something he would really like.
Sure.
So, a few interesting fun facts. This is one of only 2 Disneyland Park attractions where the live hosts ride with you.
Okay.
So, yeah, only 2. And the other one is?
Jungle Cruise.
Okay, I was like, William.
Yeah. I was waiting for a second. I was like, you're going to say it or I'm going to say it.
Just wanted to make sure. All of the boats are named after female Disney characters, except for Flower, the male skunk from Bambi. And Monstro's eyes open and close, and occasionally steam comes out his blowhole.
Oh.
So, Disneyland Paris in France also has a version of this ride, but it's missing one of the key elements that makes this ride so special in Disneyland, and that's that interaction between the cast members and the guests. Storybook Land Canal Boats is one of a kind, and it brings Walt's vision of bringing everyone together and sharing their experiences together, and that's what kind of makes this attraction so neat, is it embodies that vision that Walt has of, really connecting with the guests.
Right.
So in the Disneyland Paris version, instead of being guided by a cast member, it just has no narration. And instead of being swallowed by Monstro, the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin appears midway through the voyage and is guided by underwater rails rather than live motors. Also, unlike the Disneyland version, miniature character figures can be spotted in their respective locations. Storybooks are also placed on each area to identify which location guests pass through. So since they don't have that narration, they got to make it a little more obvious, I guess.
Yeah, sure.
They have a couple different things to look at there too of the miniatures. Same thing, they've got the cottage from the Seven Dwarfs. They have a gingerbread house from Hansel and Gretel, which I think would be super cool.
That would be pretty neat to see, I think.
Yeah, they have Rapunzel's tower with the braid coming out of it pertaining to specifically Tangled. So I also think that would be cool. They have the Greek temple and Mount Olympus from Pastoral Symphony and Fantasia.
Okay.
Snow-covered landscapes from Peter and the Wolf.
Oh, I love that cartoon. I haven't seen that in years.
Yeah, it's been a long time. They have the Night on Bald Mountain scene from Night on Bald Mountain in Fantasia.
Mm-hmm.
They have the Cave of Wonders from Aladdin, clearly. And then they have a scene featuring Excalibur stuck in from the Sword and the Stone.
Right.
The Village and the Beast Castle from Beauty and the Beast. And, which I think would be super cool, is the Emerald City and Mombi's Castle from Return to Oz.
Oh.
Yeah, so it still sounds super cool. So, since I was talking about the Storybook Land Canals, I figured I should probably also talk about the Casey Jr. Circus train, since it's literally basically the same ride.
It goes around it.
It goes around it. They're literally looking at the same things.
Yes.
Just one of them, you get in a boat, and then the other one, you get in a train.
Right.
But I'm not going to lie. The Casey Jr. Circus train was boring, and there was literally basically nothing. It's like Walt Disney, like trains. I'm like, yep, cool, we covered that one.
We knew that.
And I figured anything that I would want to cover as far as Dumbo, I would rather save for the Dumbo and the Dumbo the Flying Elephant ride. So I didn't want to cover anything with Dumbo. Basically, the only thing cool that I found was in Disneyland Paris, instead of having just a train going around it, they have La Petite Train du Cirque, and it's a roller coaster for kids.
Oh,
so I was
okay.
like, man, they got a cool roller coaster.
It is not a cool roller coaster here in the States.
Nope, just a choo-choo train.
Just a little choo-choo train.
Although, if it's for kids, I'm guessing it's essentially the equivalent of like the Barnstormer.
That's still fun, though.
It is fun. But I couldn't just leave it at that. I had to cover a couple fun things too, because clearly, there's no fun incidences. There was no grandma breaking her leg or...
So you're telling me that my boat ride episode trumps your boat ride episode as far as injuries?
Just as far as injuries,
yeah.
But I'm not done yet.
I figured you
will still be cooler than you will. One thing, though, that I wanted to ask before I tell you the super cool part is when I was doing my research, there was this one little blog that was talking about like the history of Monstro. So where the name Monstro came from was the Italian word from monster is spelled Mostro, Mostro, so it's just dropping the end.
Okay.
So they figured they might have kind of taken it from that, or the English word monstrous, which can be gigantic or enormous, depending on the context. Or monstro means monster in Portuguese, and a couple other languages apparently that I'm not even going to attempt to say because I know I'm going to say them wrong. But they also had this one thing. They were talking about, so if you took Monstro versus Megalodon, who would win?
So, is this an opinion, or do they have actual research on this?
Oh, it was totally an opinion.
Oh,
so
okay.
You know what kind? So they think Monstro is essentially a mix of a sperm whale and like a great blue whale.
Sure.
Like that's kind of how, I don't know, the world envisions Monstro. So, I mean, gigantic for sure. Like blue whales are huge. Sperm whales have those crazy teeth, so that's where they get those two put together. So Monstro versus Megalodon, who would win?
I mean, I'm going with the Megalodon because that was the apex predator of its time.
I know, but they said Monstro was bigger than Megalodon.
Yeah, but Megalodon has more teeth.
I mean, what if Monstro just swallowed Megalodon?
Is he that much bigger that he could just swallow Megalodon?
I don't know. Either way, they said it would be a bloody mess.
Yeah, either way, it's going to be a knockdown, drag-out fight, but I'm still going with Megalodon.
Okay, so since I couldn't find any crazy incidences, I did want to include something fun about Disneyland. So, what did I find? I found cats.
Cats?
Cats. Not the musical. That was awful.
Terrible.
I hate that one.
So boring. So long.
But did you know that there are wild cats that live in Disneyland?
I feel like I've heard this, but I could also just be thinking I've heard it because you said it. Yep. I don't know a lot about it.
So, sightings of cats in Disneyland go all the way back to 1955 when Disneyland opened. At first, this just started with Sleeping Beauty's castle. So when they opened, Sleeping Beauty's castle was more so just a prop. Like it wasn't an attraction or anything. Right. It was just kind of hollow, and there was nothing really in there.
You walk through it to get to the park.
Yeah, but now, you can go in there and actually like tour through it, and it kind of takes you through the whole story of Sleeping Beauty.
Right. I missed it last time we went because I kept our youngest out.
Yeah, he's a little sleepy or grumpy.
I think he was sleeping. And it was just going to be a little too hard to push the stroller through, I think, as well.
Yeah, because there's stairs. So I took the girls through, which one day we will get back to Disneyland, and you can definitely, get your turn
Get my turn.
Or we'll probably just all go. But, it was really cool. So, Walt, when he took some of his engineers into Sleeping Beauty's castle to kind of start this process of transforming this castle into more than just a prop, they walked in and found it to be infested with feral cats and fleas.
Oh, gross.
Yes, clearly this was a problem that had to be fixed. But Walt also cared a lot about his image to the public. So he didn't want to just go exterminating cats because that would definitely cause quite an uproar.
It'd be a little brutal.
Yeah, for sure. So what he did was he had all the cats adopted out by cast members.
So they actually did that with the new Lady and the Tramp. All the dogs they used for that live action version, they adopted out to a lot of the...
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, like I know Yvette Nicole Brown, who played the aunt who comes to visit and take care. She adopted one of the dogs. I know that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
And I think it was one of the extra dogs who she checked later. She was like, so which scene did you use him in? And they didn't actually use him. But she still got to adopt this dog that was used on set.
That's precious.
Yeah.
Yeah, Walt wanted to keep them in the Disney family.
Yes.
So cast members got to adopt them. However, that backfired on him a little bit.
Okay.
So he got rid of all the cats in Disneyland, and now it was becoming overrun with rodents.
Yes, I was going to say, you have the vermin showing up now, don't you?
Yep, because you have small children walking through the park, dropping popcorn,
food.
And, it's a great place for little rodent to live.
They can scavenge.
Yep, so Disneyland was literally becoming overrun with mice.
Gross.
I mean, the irony there of, Disney, Mickey.
It's almost something straight out of a cartoon.
It literally, yeah. But a few of the feral cats that weren't living in the castle were still around, and they happened to just be doing a better job on taking care of these rodents than the humans were. So this symbiotic relationship sort of developed. They now have feeding stations set up around the property where the cats could get their fill when they couldn't just subside on hunting alone. And they captured as many of them as they could and spayed and neutered them before they were being released back onto the grounds. So that way the cat population would remain under control.
Okay.
So it's the cast members that work at the Circle D Ranch. These are the same cast members who look after the Main Street trolley horses and the the goats at Big Thunder Ranch help manage the cats.
Okay.
Which I'm not gonna lie, I didn't know there were actually goats there.
I didn't either.
We have so much more of Disneyland to explore.
All these little details we need to keep an eye out for now.
Yeah. So not only do they have the feeding stations, they have little shelters where they can receive veterinary care, including flea treatments. That's where they spay and neuter them, and then the vaccinations. So, feral cats by nature are definitely more scared of humans.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't typically bother the park guests, and they're not typically as, comfortable around them. But,
I don't recall ever seeing cats on any visit there.
Yeah, but again, it's not something you're looking for.
I wasn't looking to see cats either. So.
Yeah, and you know how Disney does a very good job at just having you look at the things they want you to
see. Yep.
So some estimates say that there could be as many as about 200 cats, although some sources say it's only likely to be around 50 to 60 cats that live between California Adventureland and Disneyland.
Mm-hmm.
So either way, 50 or 200, what? Where are all these cats? Why haven't we seen them? I want to find one.
I want to see cats now.
Right? Everything is always like, don't touch the cats. Yeah.
That's fine. I don't have to touch them. I just want to see if they're actually there now.
But I want to see them. So some of the feeding stations are located where guests are most likely to spot the cat or the cats include one near the Hungry Bear restaurant in Disneyland, Taste Pilot's Grill at Disney California Adventure, and the Whitewater Snacks at the Grand Californian. So the cats are also often spotted in the Rose Court Garden at the Disneyland Hotel and in the ditch that runs parallel to the path for the Mickey and Friends tram.
Okay.
So people know where they hang out.
Yeah, they're spread out a bit.
Yeah. So if by chance one of these cats starts to get a little too comfortable around park guests, Disney adopts the feline out to a Disney cast member. And if they happen to miss a couple of the cats and there is a new litter of kittens accidentally born within the property, then they also adopt those out.
Okay.
They also say they do not encourage people to just drop the cats they don't want off Disneyland. So they, I guess California or Anaheim has a really bad problem right now with just feral cats all over the place. So this is such a big thing, actually. I didn't know about it. There's this miniature cult following of these cats. There's even a whole website, disneylandcats.com.
Okay.
Where it talks about the cats, and there's even profiles made for some of the cats.
They have individual, here's a picture and here's Johnny Walker cat.
Yep. The whole website is actually written from the cat's perspective, as if the cats have written the website themselves. And then they have their profiles up, essentially, for some of the cats with pictures.
Okay.
There's an Instagram account for these cats. There's a Twitter account. There's a Facebook account, which clearly I have to go find this now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So Francisco is one of the park's most famous cats and is one of the easiest to spot.
Oh, the name like Francisco, he better be.
Yeah, it's funny because almost all the names on here, the Disneyland cast members have like a different name. Like to the public, it's Francisco, but a lot of the cast members were already calling that cat Snickers. So,
Okay.
a lot of them have two names. But Francisco is a long-haired tortoiseshell cat, and it's most likely to be found around the Grizzly Peak across from Taste Pilot's Grill. And due to his not-so-hidden favorite spots around the park, Francisco is the Disneyland cat with the most photos online. The Disneyland cat's Instagram started receiving a mass influx of pictures of Francisco from the park guests back in 2014, so that's why they created the Instagram page, and it started with hashtag Francisco Friday, where every Friday they post a picture of Francisco around the park.
Okay.
So this is like a big thing.
That's a huge thing.
Yeah. They also have some of the other cats are named Ned, Peter, Sammy, Pepper. It's just these normal, names. They have the profile of each of them. Ned, for example, is a domestic longhair who hangs out on the grounds of the Disneyland Hotel. Some of the information, though, is just for fun, like that Ned's hobbies are glass blowing, cryptography, and laser tag, and that Ned graduated summa cum laude from a university of his own creation.
Of his own creation.
Yep.
Okay.
This site is actually so popular that you can buy t-shirts that say, "We still try to forget it was all started by a mouse," and "Beware of hitchhiking cats."
I want the hitchhiking cats one.
I figured. Ryan Gosling, a former Mouseketeer,
Yep.
who is often spotted at the park when it opened, even talked about the Disneyland cats on Conan. And I have a quote from what he said on there. He said, "I don't know if this is true or not, and I do not want to get sued by Disney. There is a belief that Disney has been breeding an army of cats. Yes, and they're not just ordinary cats. They have a special skill set. They're like commando cats," he said. "And they live on the barracks, a cat barracks. I don't know what you want to call it. On the outskirts of the park, and at night when the park closes, under the cover of darkness, these cats ascend into the park and they eat all the mites. Which is what I love about Disney, because they're so weird and they think of everything." So, little fun fact there for you.
Good old Ryan Gosling. He also was on an episode of Goosebumps, Say Cheese and Die.
Well, good. I'm glad you even know which episode. Okay, that's all I've got.
That's a fun one. So, and the reason I think it's fun is actually more sentimental than me actually being like, oh, I love this ride, because despite what you may think, I know I've never been on this ride.
I mean, I believe you. Let's be real.
But one of the pictures we have, so we do just have a picture where it's straight up just click, there's Monstro, there's the entrance to the ride. But as I mentioned in the beginning of the episode, that was from our honeymoon. So we have a picture of us in our wedding years having a kiss in front of that ride. So it actually does hold a special spot for me.
Yeah, some sentimental value. I do know what picture you're talking about. So
yeah, so that's, and I happened to see those pictures. That's why I happened to guess.
I know. I was really impressed by that.
Had I not seen our pictures that we had uploaded recently from our old computer to the new ones, I wouldn't have guessed it. I would have had no clue. I just happened to see it last night.
I thought you were just cheating and looking at my stuff.
Nope. I did not cheat and see what you were working on. I just happened to see the picture, and that's what came to mind.
Well, good. I'm glad you liked it then. And the cats, I hope.
The cats. That was very interesting.
Yes.
Never would have known that there was a whole feral cat relationship with Disney.
Yep. I thought it was fun. I was like, if I can't bring some sort of, Disney accident, weird death, something, then I figured cats would.
Cats are the next best thing. And
yep.
Next time we go to DCA, we're going to have to look at that restaurant, the Taste Pilot's Grill, and see if we can find them. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be looking all around. They did show one picture online of just one of the cats just like sleeping on like the roof. Just on, I couldn't tell what it was the roof of because it was just a picture of the roof, but it was, on top of like a ride or a restaurant or something. So I'm going to keep my eyes out. For sure. That's it for this week's episode of Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Don't forget we need your mouse tales. If you have a funny, weird, exciting, or just a favorite Disney memory, send it to ashesandwilldodisney@gmail.com so we can read them on the show.
And don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Ashes and Will Do Disney. This is a public group to follow. We're also on YouTube at Ashes and Will Do Disney.
Please subscribe, rate, and review wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening, and have a magical day!